Did you ever wonder where Earth's oxygen comes from? Most of us would say that it comes from trees, bushes, and other green fauna located on top of Earth's shores. And even though that oxygen is produced by land, scientists estimate that 50 to 80% of oxygen produced by Earth is made by the oceans. But how is it possible? Are bubbles of oxygen just magically appearing out of thin water? Of course not. Ocean has a complex ecosystem in which the production of oxygen is a part of. Oceanic plankton, drifting plants, algae, and some bacteria are the ones who can photosynthesize, thus they create oxygen as a byproduct. But only phytoplanktons have the right to call themselves the lungs of the ocean, since they produce the majority of oxygen in the ocean. It is impossible to give an accurate answer on how much oxygen they really produce, but scientists estimate that it might be even beyond 50%. So, we as a human race are definitely doing the right thing by protecting our main source of oxygen, right? Well, of course not. The number of phytoplanktons and other marine organisms is drastically decreasing. One of the main reasons for this is the introduction of plastic into the ocean. Plastic can get broken down by the water into small subatomic particles called microplastic. These particles then tend to create a lot of havoc, like attaching themselves onto phytoplanktons and blocking out their access to sunlight, which makes them unreliable to photosynthesize. Thus, it ultimately kills them. But even before turning into microplastics, plastic still causes a lot of harm to fish, seabirds, and marine mammals. Plastic drastically impacts 267 marine species worldwide, which includes 86% of all sea turtle species, 44% of all seabird species, and 43% of all marine mammal species. Plastic is one of the most brutal killers on this planet, killing more than 100 million marine animals each year through injection, starvation, suffocation, infection, drowning, and entanglement. Our selfish and poor behavior towards Earth is to blame for this. We are putting Earth's oceans into disbalance because of our presence on this planet. Earth's byproduct is oxygen, and our byproduct is pollution. And all organisms on Earth are going through big changes because of it. Oceanic debris is 80% plastic, and every year pollution brings 14 million tons of plastic into the ocean. The problem is that as the population will grow, the waste will grow as well. Research made by scientists showed that in the world there are at least 5 places called the garbage patches. It is a place in which most oceanic plastic and debris is collected by the currents. But that was proven wrong. A more recent experiment discovered that only a few thousand hundreds tons of plastic would end up in these garbage patches, which is a lot. But believe it or not, it's less than 1% of overall 14 million tons of plastic that goes into the ocean every year. So, where does the other 99% of plastic end up? Most of it ends up sinking to the bottom of the ocean or turns into microplastics. But the problem is that, unlike the garbage patches, it can't be cleaned. So, the mess we create will stay with us forever. So, there is a lot of plastic in the ocean, we know that. But why might it be so important to reduce the amount of it again? In the world, the most polluted river is called Citarum, and it is on the island Java, which is Indonesia. Citarum is one of the most important rivers for Indonesia, but since Indonesia is growing economically, the river is more and more polluted. Consumption is on the right track, but it is still not enough because the waste treatment system remains undeveloped. So it leaves the river and rubbish dump with no more fishes in it, just the dead ones. But should we even be surprised about it when in this river thousands of pieces of plastic accumulate every day, and in the sum for the year it is more than 200,000 tons of plastic? So I wanted to make sure that I was on the right path with pollution management, unlike Indonesia. So I made an experiment where I walked through 300 meters of the river. While walking, I found a lot of trash right next to the river, such as cigarette butts and packs, aluminum cans, plastic bottles, plastic bags, tissues, and much more. The pictures you can see are not the only trash I found. There was much more of the same things over the river. And that's it. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it.